Sahana vavatu, Sahanau punaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. We are studying the 19th Sutra of the Brahma Sutras, first chapter, first pada, sixth adhikarana. Here, the topic of discussion is whether the word Anandamaya, which occurs in the Taittiriya Upanishad just after the description of 5 koshas, where also the word Anandamaya is used to refer to the last kosha, or the kosha or sheath or covering closest to our true nature. So here, Anandamaya, the discussion is that word Anandamaya, which occurs in the second instance, whether that word means, whether that word indicates Anandamaya kosha, which is in the realm of ignorance, or it indicates Anandamaya, that is Brahman. So here, various arguments of the opponent philosophical school, that is Sankhya philosophy, are considered by Bhagavadgita Shankaracharya Deva, and he replies to those arguments by giving his counter arguments and setting aside these objections. As we know, the opponent party, which is an argument which is thought of by the person who is writing a commentary. Commentary is called Bhashya. And the Bhashyakara here, Bhagavad-pada Shankaracharya, thinks of the argument which would be given by the opponent philosophical school, that is Sankhya school of philosophy. And he presents that argument as though it has been presented by a Sankhya philosopher. And this kind of presenting of the arguments which could be presented by opposing or differing philosophical schools, this method is called Purva Paksha, that is the opposing school or opposing standpoint is called Purva Paksha. Here Purva literally means one who is in front of you or one who is countering you. And the standpoint or the arguments presented by the person who is writing the commentary to establish one's philosophy, that person is called Siddhanti, because that person is writing the commentary to establish Siddhanta or one's philosophy. So Purva Paksha is countered or replied to by the Siddhanti. So here also, now the sutra, 19th sutra is Asmin asya cha tadyogam shasti. So the sutra means, the literal meaning of the sutra is this Brahman, which we see through the prism of ignorance, and the absolute Brahman, the yogam of both, or the identity of both, is Shasti, has been told by the scriptures, that means the Vedas. So the absolute Brahman and the relative Brahman are essentially one. This is what the Vedas say. And since the Vedas say so, the second instance of the word Anandamaya should definitely mean Brahman and not ignorance or the self which is covered by ignorance. So in that series of explanations and logical standpoints or arguments, Shankaracharya, Bhagavad Shankaracharya, he says, Apicha Ananda Prachura iti yukte dukkastitvam api gamyate prachuryasya loke pratiyogi alpatva apekshatvat. Apicha, further, Ananda Prachura iti ukte. So there was this argument that why is the suffix Maya used? When you say Ananda Maya, one of the arguments of Sankhya philosophy was the suffix Maya has been used. And the suffix Maya means that it contains that or it possesses that. And therefore, that Ananda Maya does not denote Brahman. In reply to that argument, Bhagavad Shankaracharya Deva, that is the Siddhanti as far as Advaita Vedanta is concerned, he said that this suffix Maya, which is called Mayat Pratyaya, Pratyaya means suffix. Mayat Pratyaya, or the suffix Mayat, has been used here or is used here in the sense of abundance, prachurya, abundance, prachurya. And therefore, it should not be taken in any other meaning. So now, that is what here is, that is what is being referred to here. Apicha, further, Ananda Prachura iti ukte, iti ukte, having said like this, having said this, Ananda Prachura, Ananda, bliss, Prachura, abundance. So when somebody talks about an abundance of bliss, dukkha astitvam api gamyate. Gamyate, it is understood. What is understood? Dukkha astitvam api. The presence of astitva, presence of dukkha, misery. When one talks of the abundance of bliss, it presupposes or it automatically means the presence of misery or suffering. Gamyate. One can infer misery or suffering. Why? Prachuryasya loke pratiyogi alpatva apekshatvat. So we have to understand what is the word pratiyogi. Pratiyogi means the contradictory or opposing quality. That is pratiyogi. It is a term which has been coined by the Nyaya philosophers. Nyaya philosophy is often referred to the school of logic, referred to as the school of logic, Nyaya. Nyaya can be translated as logic. But it is not just a school of logic. It's a school which has its own philosophy, its own ontology, its own metaphysics. And it is not just logic. So if a person well versed in logic, maybe a computer scientist, if a computer scientist were to call oneself a logician, it might be true, but that person could not, or just because that person is a computer scientist, that person would not become a Nayayika, that is the follower of Nyaya school of philosophy. This we need to understand. So Pratiyogi, the term which has been coined by Nyaya philosophy, means the opposite property. The example would be, of course, Indian philosophers are obsessed with pots because maybe that was what was readily available to them those days. Pot and cloth and a person called Devadatta. These are the obsessions. These are the obsessions of Indian philosophers, at least Indian philosophers of the past. So on a floor, there is no pot. What is the pratiyogi of this? That on the floor, there is pot. Conversely, if on the floor there is a pot, the pratiyogi will be that there is no pot on the floor. So that is the opposing quality or the opposing characteristic, contradictory position. So here, prachuryasya loke. Loke generally or in general usage, prachuryasya pratiyogi alpatva apekshatvat. Whenever abundance is talked of, then automatically there is an expectation of its opposite quality, that is, what is the opposite quality of abundance? Limited. So abundance or shortage, or we can say dearth of. So if there is something in abundance, then the opposite quality is there is a lack of or there is a shortage of. So alpatva, shortage of apekshatvat, because there is this expectation of a shortage of something which is referred to as being abundant. So the opposite quality would be shortage. Whenever we experience joy, there is immediately the fear of losing that joy. When we experience joy, there is always fear of losing that joy. When we experience something which we have craved for a long time, there is this fear that that experience will end. And so that is the logic here, which is given, that if generally when prachurya or abundance is talked about, people infer misery or suffering. Suffering is inferred. Tatha cha sati. This being so, yatra na anyat pashyati, na anyat shrunoti, na anyat vijanati sa bhuma. Chandogya Upanishad, 7th chapter, 24th section, first mantra. So this being so, this Upanishadic quotation from the Chandogya Upanishad, yatra na anyat pashyati, where or when, na anyat pashyati, nothing else is seen, na anyat shrunoti, nothing else is heard, na anyat vijanati, nothing else is known, sa bhuma, that is bhuma, that is great, or that is Brahman. Iti, in this manner, bhumni brahmani tad vyatirikta abhava shrutihi uparudhyeta. So in this manner, bhumni brahmani, in bhuma or in Brahman, tad vyatirikta, in Brahman, that which is different from it. What is different from it? Abhava, absence of Brahman, or absence of the ultimate reality. That is the pratiyogi here. That is the opposing characteristic. So here, in this quotation from the Chandogya Upanishad, in Brahman, which refers to Brahman or Bhuma, anything other than that which indicates an absence of Brahman would be Shrutihi Uparudhyeta. If that idea comes, then that would be a contradiction of Shruti, a contradiction of what has been told in the Upanishad, and it would contradict this statement. Yatra na anyat pashyati, na anyat shrunoti, na anyat vijanati, tat or sa bhuma. So it would contradict that statement. So please mute yourself, all of you. It will contradict that statement. So that is why we cannot, or we should not think of the opposing quality. That is the idea. Please mute yourself. Please mute the microphone. Not the video, but microphone. Prati shariram cha priyadi vedat anandamayasya api bhinnatvam. Not only that, prati sharirasya, in all bodies, prati shariram, in all bodies, means in every body, in each body, priyadi vedat, because of the difference, vedat, because of the difference of priya adi, because of the difference of likings, whatever a person prefers, because of the difference of that. Priyadi, Bhedat, because of the difference of what one likes. Anandamayasya api bhinnatvam. Even Anandamaya also, that is, that which induces happiness, is also different. That's also different. Brahma tu na prati shariram vidyate. However, prati shariram in each body, Brahma tu can be however or but. Brahma prati shariram na vidyate. Brahman in each body is not different. Brahman cannot be different, obviously. It is the same. Why? The Taittiriya Upanishadic phrase is quoted here from the second chapter, first mantra of Taittiriya Upanishad. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. What is Brahman? It is, or how is Brahman? Satyam Jnanam Ananta. It is eternal, it is full of knowledge, it is infinite. If that be so, how can Brahman be different for each body? It cannot be. It cannot be. So here, iti anantya shrutehe. Nanni Nambudriji, please mute your phone, microphone. If you can hear me, please mute your microphone. Satyam Jnanam Ananta Brahma. Iti anantya shrutehe. Iti anantya shrutehe. There, Shruti or the Vedas are talking about Ananta, infinitude. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. They're talking about their infinitude. And another statement from Shweta Shudra Upanishad, from the 6th chapter, 11th mantra. Eko devaha sarva bhuteshu gudaha sarva vyapi sarva bhuta antaratma. Eko bhutaha, eko devaha, that one deity. Here the word deva has been used to mean Brahman. Sarva bhuteshu gudaha. Is gudaha is hidden. Is hidden in sarva bhuta. Sarva bhuteshu means in all beings. Sarva vyapi, and is all pervading. Sarva bhuta antaratma. It is indwelling in all beings. The other word used is pratyak. Pratyak means in all beings, it is pratyak atma, it is called indwelling atman. So Shweta Shudra Upanishad says, the idea is itija shruti antarat. So there is another shruti which talks about the infinitude and the all-pervasiveness of Brahman. So here the idea is that it cannot be, Brahman cannot be different for different bodies. Brahman cannot be different for different contexts. That is the idea. Nacha anandamayasya abhyasah shruyate. Pratipadika arthamatrameva hi sarvatra abhyasyate. Nahi anandasya. Please, Mr. Nambudriji, please mute your microphone. Please. Na cha anandamayasya abhyasah shruyate. Thank you. Also, in the Shrutis, there is no repetition of Anandamaya. That means what? There is no Anandamaya's repetition means there is no repetition.
Maharaj, you are in mute.
Is not talking about such repetition. Pratipadika arthamatrameva. Pratipadika arthamatram eva hi sarvatra abhyasyate. Pratipadika arthamatram eva hi sarvasya sarvatra abhyasyate. So here, what is repeated? Sarvatra, everywhere. Only the Pratipadika artha. Pratipadika means the root form of the word, of a word. Root form of a word. So in Anandamaya, if you remove the suffix mayat, the root form of the word will be Ananda. The original word is Ananda. And only Ananda is repeated. Artha matra. So, artha matrameva sarvatra abhyasyate. So, only the meaning of pratipadika, only the meaning of the original word is repeated. Or only the original word is repeated. This Ananda Maya is not repeated. That is the idea. So here now Bhagavad Shankaracharya Deva gives a very quite strong argument. The whole contention here is because of the word Anandamaya. Also because it has been used twice, once to mean Anandamaya Kosha and next to mean Brahman. And that has caused, apparently it has caused confusion. I say apparently because it is not exactly causing confusion, because the context there makes it very clear what the Upanishad wants to say, as Bhagavad Shankaracharya is again and again, over and again he is emphasizing. But if we were to say that there is a confusion, then here this argument, very strong argument, that you see this word has not been repeated as it is. There is no abhyasa, or there is no repetition of this word. Much repetition is not there. What is sarvatra abhyasyate? What is repeated everywhere in the Shruti is the pratipadika, is the meaning of the original word, or the original word itself. That is Ananda. And so it is quoted again. Taittiriya Upanishad, 2nd chapter, 7th mantra is quoted. Raso vai saha, rasa hi eva ayam labdva anandi bhavati, ko hi eva anyat kaf pranyat, yadesha anand akasha anando nasyat, esha hi eva anandayati. This statement or this sentence we have seen already. We have seen this phrase, esha hi eva anandayati. And the Siddhanti, that is Bhagavad Shankaracharya Deva, has used this phrase to prove that Brahman or Anandamaya refers to sentient Brahman, conscious Brahman, and not to the insentient principle called Pradhana. Because Anandayati, it gives bliss, it gives Ananda. How can something which is insentient give bliss? That was the logic. Now again we are quoting this statement to prove something else, that the word Ananda has been repeated in the sense of bliss, whereas Ananda Maya has not been repeated. So there is no question of any confusion. Here, of course, we know the meaning of this statement, Raso Vai Saha, that indeed, that referring to Brahman, that indeed is essence, Rasa, essence. Rasa hi eva ayam labdva anandi bhavati. He indeed, ayam rasa labdva, ayam this rasa, essence, labdva, having attained, anandi bhavati. So definitely attaining this rasa, that becomes blissful. Ko hi eva anyat kaf pranyat yadi yada esha akashah anando na syat. So if akashah yadesha means yadi esha, if this akasha anando na syat, if there would have been no bliss of this akasha. Akasha means space. That means if there would have been no self-evident, self-revealing bliss, na syat, yadi na syat, if it would not have been there, kaha hi eva anyat, kah pranyat. If that would have been the case, that there is no self-evident, self-revealing bliss, then kahi eva anyat, kaf pranyat. Who would have done any effort? Who would have done any effort, made any effort? Who would have won, or who would have succeeded? So the idea is that it is because of the Atman or Brahman that this bliss comes, and that a person makes an effort, and that a person succeeds. Esha hi eva anandayati. It is this Brahman that bestows bliss, gives bliss. So here Ananda word has been used again and again. So there is abhyasa, repetition of Ananda word. We don't see the word Anandamaya. That is the whole point here Bhagavata Shankaracharya is trying to make. Then there is from the 8th part of the 2nd chapter of Taittiriya Upanishad, again there is another quote. Sa esha anandasya mimamsa bhavati. So here mimamsa, calculation, computation of that ananda is happening. What is the calculation of ananda? There is a section in Taittiriya Upanishad, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, where ananda is computed. 1 unit of this is human bliss, then so many units of this is Deva's bliss, Gandharva's bliss. Like that, there is a calculation. Then comes Anandam Brahmano Vidwan Na Bibeti Kutaschaneti. This also we have seen earlier. Anandam Brahmano Vidwan. So after knowing, or one who knows the blissful Brahman, Na Bibeti, does not fear, kutaschaneti, does not fear anyone. Kutaschana means anyone. Does not fear anyone. Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat. Taittiriya Upanishad, 6th chapter, 6th mantra. Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat. Know Brahman to be Ananda, or know Ananda to be Brahman. So if you see, if you are talking about bliss, then that is know that it is Anand, Brahman. Ananda Brahma iti Vyajanat. Know that Ananda or bliss is Brahman iti cha. So here all these places, Ananda word has been used. And the important thing is we are only quoting from Taittiriya Upanishad and only certain sentences or phrases. If one were to take all the Upanishads, all the Shrutis, all the Vedas, then we will find that the word Ananda has been repeated many times. Yadicha, also, if Anandamaya Shabdasya Brahma Vishayatvam Nishchitam Bhavet, also if Anandamaya Shabdasya Brahmatvam, Brahma Vishayatvam, of the word Anandamaya, Brahma Vishayatvam, the fact that it refers to Brahman, that the word Anandamaya refers to Brahman, Nishchitam Yadi Bhavet, Yadi Nishchitam Bhavet, if that were to become certain, Nishchitam, certain. If that were to Bhavet, become, if that were to become certain, Tatah, then Uttareshu Ananda Matra Prayogeshu Api Anandamaya Abhyasah Kalpyet. If it were to be certain that Anandamaya word refers to Brahman, then Uttareshu Ananda Matra Prayogeshu, then wherever after that Uttareshu, after that, Ananda Matra Prayogeshu, just by using the word Ananda, or wherever Ananda word has been used, then there also Api Anandamaya Abhyasah Kalpyet. So there also the word Ananda Maya has to be imagined or understood. So what is being told here is, suppose Ananda Maya, here what has been told, there was an objection by the Sankhya philosopher that the first instance of Ananda Maya itself is Brahman. You are saying that the first instance is Anandamaya Kosha. Second instance refers to Brahman. We Sankhya philosophers say that the first instance itself Anandamaya is Brahman. Why are you making it the second? First itself it is referring to Brahman. That is the objection. So there, that is why now these things are being explained. First reply to that objection was that no, it is not true. Anandamaya, second Anandamaya refers to Brahman. First Anandamaya refers to Anandamaya Kosha. Also, the Shruti is not repeating the word Anandamaya. It is only repeating the original word or the original idea. Now, the other argument is, if we were to accept that the first instance of Anandamaya word refers to Brahman, yadi nishchitam bhavet, if that were to become certain, then uttareshu ananda matra prayogeshu, whenever afterwards only ananda word has been used, wherever ananda word has been used afterwards, anandamaya abhyasah kalpiyat, then we have to consider that they all refer to anandamaya. Because if you say Anandamaya means Brahman, then afterwards you don't need to use the word Anandamaya. You can use Ananda also, and then it will refer to Anandamaya. If I say let x is equal to 10, then afterwards if I just put 10 or if I put x, it means the same thing. So similarly, if I say Anandamaya means refers to Brahman, which is Ananda. So afterwards, if I just write Ananda, it will refer to Anandamaya. But there is a problem. Natu Anandamayasya Brahmatvam asti. Because Anandamaya is not Brahman. Anandamaya Kosha Anandamaya is not Brahman. It is not Brahman. It is Anandamaya Kosha. It is a covering on Brahman. Priya Shiraha tu Adi Bihi Hetu Bihi iti avochama. So why it is not referring to Brahman? Because Priya Shiraha tu Adi Bihi. So tu, but Priya Shiraha, Priya Shira Adi means all this Priya Shira etc. Modo Bhavati, Brahma Pucham Pratishta, all that. Tasya Shira. So all these examples where Priya or liked the most dear, and also Shira means head. All these have been told. All these are Hetubihi iti avochamah. We have already told that they are all parts. So since they are all parts, Anandamaya, when Anandamaya is explained, there these things have been told, and because they are parts, Anandamaya cannot become Brahman. Therefore, therefore, Shruti Antare, in a different Shruti, that is in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 3rd chapter, 9th section, 28th mantra. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. It is told. What does it mean? That Brahman is the form of is of the form of Vijnana. Vijnana means knowledge. Anandam. So Brahman is of the form of bliss and knowledge. Knowledge and bliss. So iti Ananda Pratipadikasya Brahmani Prayoga Darshanat. So here you see Ananda is there. Ananda word or the root word Ananda. Of that root word Ananda, it has been used to mean Brahman, Prayoga Darshanat, because it has been used to mean Brahman. What has been used to mean Brahman? Ananda word has been used to mean Brahman. It refers to Brahman. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. Vijnanam knowledge, Anandam bliss. So Brahman is knowledge and bliss. So here the word Ananda is referring to Brahman. Brahmani Prayoga Darshanat. Because we see Darshanat, because we see Prayoga, usage of Brahman. Usage of the word Ananda to refer to Brahman. Because we see that, so what happens? We can understand that whenever next Ananda word is used, it is not a repetition of the word Anandamaya, but it is a repetition of the word Ananda. because essentially Anandamaya and Ananda mean different things. So Prayoga Darshanat, because of the usage of the word Ananda to mean Brahman, like in this example, Yadesha Akasha Anando na syat. If this self-evident, all-pervading bliss were not there, iti adi, like this, Brahma Visheha Prayoga hai, in the usage referring to Brahman, na tu Anandamaya Abhyasa. There is no Abhyasa or repetition of Anandamaya. Iti avagantavyam. That we have to understand. That we have to understand. Iti avagantavyam. Yastu ayam mayad antasya eva ananda shabdasya abhyasah. Yah tu ayam mayad antasya. So here mayad antasya means in this particular Upanishadic statement which is now going to be quoted from Taittiriya Upanishad 2nd chapter 8th section. So the mayad antasya or the word which is ending with the suffix mayat, that word is Anandamaya. That word Anandamaya asyaiva mayad antasyaiva ananda shabdasya abhyasah. So there where there is a abhyasa, repetition of the word Anandamaya or of the word Ananda ending with Mayat. That means Anandamaya, where there is indeed repetition. So we earlier said that there is no repetition of Anandamaya, there is only repetition of Ananda. But yah tu ayam Mayad antasyaiva Ananda shabdasya abhyasah. But where this Anandamaya word has been repeated, that is Anandamaya word suffixed with the suffix mayat has been repeated. That is, what is that phrase? Etam anandamayam atmanam upasankramati. This has been repeated here. Etam anandamayam atmanam upasankramati. So upasankramati, it contradicts or it limits etam anandamaya atmanam, this blissful atman. So here iti, like this when it is told, na tasya brahma vishayatvam asti. In that case, there is no, it is not referring to Brahman. It is not referring to Brahman. Vikaratvam, vikaratmanam eva annamayadinam anatmanam upasankramati uparasankramitavyanam pravahe patitatvat. So here there is a pravaha. That means here there is a continuation. What is the continuation? Vikaratmanam, that which is of the nature of vikara, that which has got vikara, that which can be modified, that which is subject to modification. Subject to modification means that which is prone to be modified, which can be modified. That, what are they? That is, anything in this realm of ignorance can be modified. Anything which is born in the realm of ignorance can be modified. Vikara atmanam, annamayadinam. So what is that? Annamayadinam. It is starting with Annamaya, the gross sheath, that is food sheath, you can say, Annamaya Kosha. So these Annamayadinam of those starting with Annamaya Kosha, Anatmanam, which are not self, Anatma. Anatma means not self. Anatmanam Upasankramitavyanam. And they are all Upasankramitavyanam. They are those principles or entities which are supposed to be Upasankramitavya, means they have to be removed or they have to be contradicted because they are not Atman. So, of them, Pravahe Patitatvad. Pravahe Patitatvad. This Anandamaya Atma comes in the succession of all those not self which have to be discarded, which have to be contradicted. And those not self are, what are they? Annamayadi, etc. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. So in that succession, Anandamaya comes last. In that series, Anandamaya comes last. And therefore, this it has to be that this Anandamaya does not refer to Brahman. Rather, it refers to that which is changeful, that which is undergoing modification. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Shubharatri Shubharatri.